My name is Casey Batesel. I'm a volunteer on the Boone County Fire Protection District and a student here at the University of Missouri. So this class gave us the opportunity to kind of merge two of the things I'm passionate about. And that was a pretty exciting opportunity for me. My name is Casey. This is Liz. This is Corey. Two of the main people kind of working on our team. Corey is one of the lead developers. Liz did most of the design work. And right over here is Captain Josh Kramer with the Boone County Protection District. He was kind of our main liaison over there. So we're excited kind of about all that partnership. This is our full team, pretty large team. We had several developers spread into 3 different groups: app logic, database, and interface. We wanted to recognize all of them, as well as the faculty we worked with and the representatives at Boone County. Our application, sorry, I'm kind of holding too many things here. Get rid of some of this. Do you have one of the lightning connectors?
I do. Well, wait a minute. For the iPad or for the... Second.
Cool. So our project was designed to get rid of this giant clipboard. One of the challenges about working on a volunteer fire scene especially is that you don't exactly know who's going to be there. One of the challenges Boone County faces is that on any given scene you could have 2 people show up at the beginning, 2 more people show up in an hour, 3 more people an hour after that. You never really know exactly how many people are going to be there. So you have to develop what's called a personnel accountability system. Our current system is this large clipboard. The on-scene commander uses this clipboard. They take little Velcro pieces and they drag them around. It's kind of like these pieces right here, and they move them to different scenes, but this is fairly limited. It's limited in a few different ways. Well, first, there's only one actual device. There's only one thing you can hold. So not many people can hold this, not many people can pass it around. The fire chief sitting at his home can't look and see exactly what's going on scene. So if this gets lost, something happens to this, you're kind of in a bad spot. Second, you don't have any intense personnel information. All you have is their name and what their rank and their medical certification. So you can't really see what they're trained for. You can't see the specialty rescue stuff they have. You can't see the experience they have, the time on district. It's fairly limited. You don't have a picture, so you're pretty limited in what you can do. So we want to take the same functionality, the same usability, and transition it to a device like the iPad. Cool, yeah, so this kind of goes through everything. Again, we're not necessarily adding a whole lot of new information. We're just trying to really build on what's already there. Before we dive into the demonstration, one of the big pieces in all this, and one of our big challenges on the development side, was to integrate all these different databases. Columbia works through what's called joint dispatch, and they put all their information in a CAD system, which is computer-aided dispatch. So all that information is what you get when you call 911. It creates a report. That report has tons of information in it: the address, the complaint, all the stuff going on. We wanted to get all that information. So up here in the top left, we needed all that stuff in CAD going somewhere. And then over on the top right, we need all the personnel information from the fire district. That's all the medical records. That's all the stuff I was talking about a second ago. So we needed all that to merge into our own server. So we created a server that's hosted here at the university that pulls that information together, and then all of our iPads connect to that server. That allows us to have as many iPads as we want connecting to one information and all sharing the same stream. It also allows us a place to push information from the iPad. So anytime we make a change on a scene, anytime we add somebody to a crew or move them around a fire scene, we know exactly where they are. And that gets pushed back to the server, so every other iPad gets kind of pushed with that same data, which is pretty neat. One of those iPads gets to go in command. We want to make sure that we don't have 6 different iPads doing different things at the same time on a scene. So for any given scene, only one iPad can be in command. We'll run through the app real quick. Perfect. Thanks for your patience. Load this up. It loads into the scene. If you click home on here, all the scenes populated from joint dispatch, so every scene currently going on in the county pulls up in this list right here. Sometimes there's 0 lists, sometimes you have as many as 20 or 30 lists. So this is a scrolling view that kind of loads all those scenes. If you click into any of those scenes, the scene's populated with all that information. You can look up here in the top list. You have a timer. Every scene has a timer that starts from the time the ticket is created, and every 5 minutes on a lot of fire scenes, a report has to be filed. You have to call in the dispatch with a status update, so that reminds the commander of everything going on there, the location, building, all the information you need on your way to the scene and when you get to the scene. These pins on bottom, the commander, these different pins right here, are all buttons that can be populated with different data. So the on-scene commander will drag his card into the commander. The command aide will drag their card into there. Everybody will populate this, so we have a log of who's doing what. And the exciting feature of this app is that we can drag people onto different parts of the scene. This grid here represents the average building you come across. Every building, regardless of its shape or size or function, has 4 sides, and those 4 sides are the same everywhere we go. So fire scenes, commanders walk in and will assign somebody to side 3 quadrant, Charlie quadrant. And that's how we talk about buildings. So this is just a static background, doesn't get interacted with, and crews can get dragged around. We don't have that functionality built into the app yet, but we will be able to drag crews to different parts of the scene and stack them into different groups. If you look over here on the left, there's 3 main areas. People is what allows us to do all that main personnel organization. It allows us to take people and drag them on different places on the scene. Protocols, if you look on the back of our old clipboard, we have tons of different static lists. And those lists just say, on-scene commander, these are things that you need to get done today. So protocols is a way that lets us do that, and all these check marks and all these check boxes are going to be dynamic and allows to be clicked. Every time something happens on a scene, it's going to get logged and over here in the log. Every apparatus, when they get on scenes, so sometimes these scenes can have 10 or 12 different fire trucks and ambulances and police cars, all this different stuff. All that stuff gets logged in here. And underneath the initial dispatch is everything that happens in the scene. For example, if I show up on scene, it'll say C. Batesel arrived on scene at blank, assigned to fire attack quadrant 4, and those lists will just populate. So that at the end of the day, this list will be 400 or 500, it could be very, very long. But that list is what allows every other app to be synced and allows the commander to go back in and see exactly what's been done or what needs to be done. There's a fair amount of functionality that's going to extend beyond the app or beyond kind of where we're at now. There's different PAR reports or different kind of safety reports that are essential on the fire scene that this app can very easily integrate, and we already have kind of built into the back end of the system. Just aren't designed yet or not fully integrated yet. So there's that. Real quick, Josh Kramer is going to say a little bit about just our kind of the way we interact with Boone County.
Hello, is this on? Yes. So we were very pleased to, have Casey on the department to be able to kind of take something that we had been working on internally that was a very analog solution, which even in its current form, the current clipboard is a huge improvement from the old traditional way of keeping track of accountability, which was really just literally a command or a clipboard with Velcro strips on the back that we can keep track of personnel. We've now at least improved it to where we can kind of keep track of some information and kind of guide initial on-scene responders kind of from the very newest person up to the most experienced commander and give them a checklist that's now transferable, so we have continuity across our fire response. The problem, though, as Casey said, was we're still kind of in an analog solution and we're limited to what we can fit on a clipboard and still make it readable and functional. So there's a lot of the things that they worked and that we tried to include from a safety perspective about keeping track of personnel, more accurately depicting where they are on an incident scene and specifically what they're doing. That they were able to incorporate, as Casey talked about, kind of the PAR checks, which is something that we want to do periodically throughout an incident to make sure that all of our personnel are accounted for. They have the radios, we know what they're doing, and that nobody's either fallen through a floor or had something collapse on them, or that they're in general otherwise just not accounted for on the scene. So from a safety perspective for us and our volunteer firefighters, moving to kind of this digital 2.0 solution will have tremendous impacts in giving us the information and kind of guiding those on-scene commanders and prompting them whenever certain information either needs to be done or something that they need to forecast to be done, but then also to kind of provide that continuity from one incident commander to the other. The other thing is that, we are fortunate. We're a very, very fortunate, blessed volunteer fire department. 75% of the volunteer department, or 75% of the departments across the country are volunteers, but unfortunately, all of the command apps that currently exist are tailored to the 25% that are career departments. And so hopefully with these sorts of things tailored to a volunteer and a volunteer's perspective and volunteer operations, this might be something that can also improve the safety of firefighters across the country, particularly volunteers. So we're very pleased, very excited about the opportunity and the program that they worked on.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you, and thanks to Team Command Clipboard. We hope to see this technology employed by first responders around the country in the not-too-distant future. Thanks.